Good day, ladies and gents. We are on day 15 of our EOC review. Today we're dealing with volume and composition of volume. All right, so number one, Houston's Soup Company is experimenting with cans for their family-sized meal. The two cans are shown below. So we have this shape, and both of these are cylinders. Now, the first question is, so there's three parts on this. So the first thing is which has the greater volume? So we're going to have to find the two volumes. Part B is how much greater is that volume? So, and then they say round to nearest cubic inch. Now, what that means is, so if they say like cubic inch or cubic, whatever, if they didn't say hundreds, tenths, hundreds, thousands, or anything like that, then what that means is the whole number. So they would want the whole number. And then the part C is approximately how many times larger is the bigger volume, and then round to nearest hundreds. Okay, so let's go ahead and take these two, and we're going to go ahead and find the volume. So for A, I'm going to change this up just a little bit. All right, so for A, all right, so volume of a 3D prism, so this is a prism, that would be base area times the height. Now, what shape was the base? So we always want to change the B and the P. So the base area or the perimeter of the base. So B is really a circle. That's what shape of the base is. And what's the area of this base? This base is a circle. So what's the area of a circle? That is pi r squared. So this circle changed into this. So that right there is the volume of a cylinder. So on this one for A, we have radius and diameter. So what's 6 to us? Is that the radius or is that the diameter? So if you're having trouble remembering which one is which, radius is halfway across and diameter is all the way across. Oops, only helps if you can see it. So diameter goes all the way across, radius goes only halfway across. So this one would be the diameter, that's 6. So then what would the radius be? That would be 3. And then this right here is the height. That's the height. So let's go ahead and plug those things in. So that's pi 3 squared, and then times the height, which is 6. All right, so let's put that in the calculator. All right, so we have 3.14. So that is what pi is, times 3 squared times 6. And we pop out with this number. Now, we are not rounding yet. So at the bare minimum, go 5 decimal places if you can while you're doing all of your work. But in this case, we can just go 2 because, or 6, that's a 6. All right, so I always double check just to make sure. All right, so that's the volume for A. Now let's go find the volume of B. So same thing. This is also a cylinder. So that's so prism is base area times the height. What shape is the base? That is a circle, so that's pi r squared times the height. All right, so in this case, radius and diameter. So 4.5 is the diameter. And so what would be the radius? To get the radius on this time, so 4.5, to get the radius, we'd have to divide by 2. And we get 2.25. So 2.25. So that would be pi times 2.25 squared, all that times the height, which was 8. All right, so we're going to put that in the calculator. So 3.14 times 2.25 squared times that 8, and we pop out with 127.17. So 127.27. Awesome. All right, so which one has the greater volume? This has 169, that has 127, so A has the bigger volume. How much greater? So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract. So for greater, so for part B, we're going to do 169.56 subtract 127.27. So we're going to subtract those, and let's see what we get. 169.56 subtract the 127.27. We pop out with 42.29. And they said to the nearest cubic inch, so that's whole number. So the question is, are we staying at 42 or are we going up to 43? So staying at 42, or what's the next number? 43. That decision is made by the number after it, which is a 2. And if I drop the ball at 2, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I drop the ball at 2, would it roll back home or would it roll to the next number? It would roll back home. So the answer is 42. Okay, and then part C, they say approximately how many times larger. Okay, so times. So when we said how much greater, we subtracted, right? How many times? That's saying what times this would be that. So what's the opposite? Divide. So we're going to divide these two numbers. So we're going to say 169.56 divided by, I'll put a little division just in case you don't know what that bar means, over 127.27. All right, so put that in the calculator. So we are going to divide this time. We get this. So that is 1.33228, and it keeps going. And then it goes 5, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they said to nearest hundreds. How many zeros does 100 have? So hundreds has 2 zeros. So we're going to go 2 numbers. So the question is, are we staying at 1.33 or are we going to the next number, 1.34? That decision is made by that 2. So if I drop the ball at 2, would it roll back home or would it roll to the next number? It would roll back home. So the answer was 1.33. All right. And that right there is the answer to number 1. All right, let's keep going. All right, number 2. Adrian just bought an aquarium to put his goldfish in. The measurements of the aquarium are shown below, but the height of the water is currently this. So here is the height at this moment. So the height of the water is at this part right here. So height of the water is 12.75. To accommodate for all the minnows, Adrian needs to fill it to the height of 25.74. So we need to go up to 25.74. So we need to go this much higher. To the nearest cubic centimeter, so that means whole number, because he didn't say hundreds or anything like that. How many more cubic centimeters of water do we need? Okay, now here's the important part. We are actually not filling it up to the top of this tank. So this 28.75 is just messing with us. So just let that disappear. Now there are two, actually there's a bunch of different ways how to do this, but I'm going to teach you the way that works for everything. So right now it's really simple just to subtract these two and find this height and then multiply by these, but that doesn't always work depending on the situation. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate these. We are going to have basically 2 different volumes. So we have what we want, and what we want, no matter what the water, I'm going to zoom in a little bit better here. Well, no matter what the tank, when we fill up the water, this water down on the bottom is not going to change dimensions. What changes is the height. So this is still 35.25 by 46, and what we want is at 25.74. Okay, we are going to subtract by how much we have. So for what we have, we still have the 35.25 by 46, and what we have is 12.75 is our height. And that will pop out with what we need. What we want, subtract what we have, and that will give us what we need. All right, so how do we find this? Volume equals base area times the height. What shape is the base? It's that rectangle. And what's the area of a rectangle? That's length times width. So the volumes of both of these is just length times width times height. Length times width, that's the base, times the height. So all we have to do is this, and this multiply together. So, getting out my calculator. Okay, 35.25 times 46 times 25.74. And we pop out with this number. All right, so we got 41737.41. And on this other one, we're going to be, so it's 35.25 times 46 times, and our height this time, our height this time is 12.75. And we have 20674.125. All right, fabulous. Okay, now what are we going to do with these two numbers? We're going to subtract them. And please notice I did not round these. I just wrote, if you're going to have to round, at least go 5 decimal places. These only had 3, this only had 2, so we're good where we're at. All right, so we're going to take these two numbers and we're going to subtract them. So 20674.125 minus 41737.41. Ever feel like you did something wrong? Let's see. Oh, let me try that again. All right, we have 41737.41 minus 20674.125. There we go. Now we have it right. Okay, so we're going to subtract those two numbers. We get this. So I ran out of room, so I'll put it up here. All right, subtracting, we get 21063.285. And they said to round to the nearest whole number, so the nearest cubic centimeter. So the question is, are we staying at 21063, or are we going to the next number, 21064? That decision is made by the 2. Man, we're just getting 2s everywhere. All right, so we drop the ball at 2. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we drop the ball at 2, it'll roll right back home, and that's our answer. So 21063 is our final answer. I'll zoom out just in case. All right, so remember, this is not the only way to do this problem, but I would think that this is the better way, because this covers no matter what shape you have. All right, number 3. All right, so number 3 here. Okay, a diagram of a water tower is shown below. What shape is modeled by the water tank at the top of the tower? Find the approximate volume of the water. Use 3.14 for pi and round to nearest foot. So nearest foot. So that is whole number again. All right. So the shape modeled by the water tank at the top of the tower. So basically, we want this shape right here. So that's all we want. We do not care about this part. We only want the ball. Okay, so let's think about this. So if we just want the ball, we want this. So volume of a ball is 4/3 pi r cubed. So we need to find the radius diameter. So 76, that would be the diameter. So if we divide that by 2, the radius would be 38. So just in case you don't know what I just did, 76, I divide that by 2, and that gave me 38, right? Okay, so now all we're going to have to do is plug that in. So 4/3 pi 38 cubed. All right, so there's a couple of different things that you need to be aware of. Okay, 38 cubed. What that really means right here is 38 times 38 times 38. So that's cubed. So depending on your calculator, you need to know how to do that. So 38, and then for me, this is my power button. So to the power of 3. So that's one way to do this. There's a couple other different ways. If you just want to go 38 times 38 times 38, that might be safer for you. Okay, so then, so 4 divided by 3 equals times 3.14 times 38 times 38 times 38. And we pop out with this number right here. So I'll go ahead and write that down. So we have 229,730.7733. And they said around to nearest foot. So that is whole number. Okay, so that right there. So we want, are we staying at 229,730, or are we rolling to the next one, 229,731? That decision is made by the 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I drop the ball at 7, it would roll to the next number, and there's my answer. So let's make sure we answered everything they wanted. The shape modeled by the water tank on the top is called a what? That is a sphere. The approximate volume of the water was 229,731. And that was the answer to number 3. All right, and the last one, number 4. All right, number 4, we want the volume of the shape. What is this shape? This is a pyramid. So volume equals 1/3 base area times the height. What shape is this base? So that is a rectangle. So that's 1/3, and base, the area of a rectangle, that would be length times width. And then we still have that height. So basically, it is just 1/3 length, which is 10, width, which is 8, times your height, which was at 6. So 1/3 length times width times height. All you have to do now is put that in the calculator. So 1 divided by 3 equals times 10 times 8 times 6. We pop out with 160. And they didn't say anything about rounding. We got a nice pretty number, and that is the correct answer. Awesome. I'll show this again just in case you need to see the calculator. And that was the answer to number 4. Also, I'll zoom out just in case you want to see the whole page. All right. Hopefully that helped you guys out. Have a great and wonderful day.